Hello, my name is Mystic Orange and this is video hashtag 707. In this video, I'm going to start a discussion. Before we get into that, I would like to update a few things just a little. Just saying that January has been very hectic, very busy, but now I'm back on track with my videos. So in this video, I'm obviously going to start a discussion. So to give context, if you don't know, this was supposed to be an intermission. In my Wings Club and 16 videos, usually I would have a segment that is intermission. This is where people would ask me questions and I would answer the questions for them just to spice up the video. I don't want to do that anymore because I just feel like it makes the videos longer. And I have to be honest, when you come to my Wings Club or 16 reviews, you're just here for that. I don't think you are here for me to ramble on about some discussion that you didn't choose to watch for. I think this idea came through because Quentin Reviews did this in his channel, and I thought it was cool. Thing is, it's cool for him because he makes longer videos. I don't think it works for me personally, and I've seen other YouTubers do this as well, like Cupquake. This is for me. And to be honest, even if it was just me who's watching these reviews, I wouldn't watch these reviews watching these segments. And honestly, with these segments, they could be its own videos. So yeah, that's what's happening. So I turned intermissions into discussions, making it a whole video on itself. I think I gave context in the past, but this is just to give you the preface of what's happening. And honestly, if you have any questions about these discussions, leave in the comments. I think questions give good way to make a video, and it's fun to discuss these things. Also, with these questions, I think it's a fun way to branch out of my normal things that I do, like talking about cartoons. I could talk about all sorts of things. Like usually in my channel, I mostly talk about cartoons, but I don't really talk about live action shows that much. So this maybe give me a chance. And honestly, today's topic might be that. So the question I got for this video is, if I could change about any show that I've seen, what would it be? And I feel like for this question, I don't want to pick any of the shows that I've covered, and I don't want to pick any cartoons because basically my channel is a cartoon channel. I would want to pick something that I would normally talk about. So that's just live action shows. And I have to be prefaced, I'm not against live action shows, I just don't cover them personally. So this way is a chance for me to do it. Only because in this channel I just want to cover cartoons. If I cover cartoons and live actions, that would be so many content that I just wasn't able to produce. So thinking about this question, if I could change any show from what I've seen, if it's a live action, what would it be? I mean, I do have an idea of one show I can think of, and that is Victorious. I used to watch Victorious as a kid throughout my teen era. Have you guys ever watched Victorious? And there's so many aspects of Victorious I could change. First of all, I could change Dan Schneider as a creator because, yeah, that guy is messed up. I would change any of the gross aspect, all of his shows actually, not just Victorious, all of his shows. They're just so grim. So I would erase those things if I had to change it myself. But here's another thing that I would, something specifically for Victorious. There's so many things that I would love to change from a positive standpoint. Like maybe in the finale of Victorious, it wasn't a good finale, was it? I think if we could rearrange some of these episodes in a certain way, I think Victorious could have gotten like a good ending. Like to be honest, like when we're talking about Victorious, um, we're not here to wishing for a new season or whatever. We're actually here because we want a good finale, kind of like how iCarly was or any others. They ended the show with a good finale, and Victorious just doesn't have that. And I think this was brought up by Quentin Reviews. I think I've been watching a lot of Quentin Reviews throughout my time on YouTube, and it's very cool. I watched his Victorious, the second video. He gave context of the last 5 episodes, and I could just give my context of how I would order the last 5 episodes. Also, here's a thing. This video feels like a response to Quentin Review's video, which is kind of cool. I think he's a cool guy. So if you're watching Quentin Reviews, I guess this is a special video for you. I think in Quentin Reviews video, he kind of showed us a pinball set of the final 5 episodes of Victorious. So I'm going to use that as a basis. I can't remember Victorious on top of my head. So I'm going to trust Quentin that those are the 5 episodes. So the episodes that we have as followed. The first episode we have is where Tori and Andre become roommates together. The second episode seems to be the one where the gang have a game show. The third episode seems to be the slap fight. Is where the group fight over how much followers someone has. The fourth episode seems to be the Star Spangled Tori. It's where she sings for the game bowl thing. And the last episode seems to be the Victoria Yes thing. Is where each character has to say yes. So in Quentin Review's video, he kind of explains how it should have been, or at least in the production order. I think in terms of the production order, it's a lot more satisfying in comparison how it's actually intended to be aired. For one thing, he knows that the Victoria Yes episode should have at least been the first one from the final episodes. And I think he made a point that I kind of agree. This is basically like a gimmick episode. And I feel like when it comes to a gimmick episode, you're not supposed to end with those sort of episodes. So the thing is, if you're ending a show with a gimmick episode, you're wondering what the conclusion is. I mean, is that a great way to end a whole series? I think it just leaves you confused to why that's the last episode. I think when you have episode like Victoria Yes, you should have it in the middle. I do you get having gimmick episodes? They are fun. They're kind of light-hearted. They're not the deep episodes. They don't play a lot in the storyline, but they're fun to have to mix things up. It gets you thinking. For example, Victoria Yes, this episode is where the characters are trying to challenge themselves to not to say no to things. They have to say yes to every answer. There are other gimmick episodes that happens in Victorious. We have one in season one where is the sleepover episode where they create characters for each characters. And even in the finale, like I mentioned, the slap fight, I would consider that kind of a gimmick episode as well because they're challenging themselves to not use technology. But I think that episode's kind of different. For this Victorious episode, it feels just that. It seems to be a way to challenge the characters and nothing else, which is fine. So obviously, the first episode is going to be Victorious. The second episode I also agree with. It's Brain Squeezers is the one where the cast are, put in a game show or whatever. Again, I don't have enough opinion on that episode, but I think it's another gimmick episode because they're getting a quiz, and I guess that's the Victorious gang get punished, which is something that I think is satisfying and what they deserve. But it's also a weird way to end it as well. I mean, I kind of get it. It's a way to end the show, making it look like they are being hurt. But I don't know if that concludes anything. So having it being a second, I'm satisfied with. The last three are where I don't agree with. So Quinton reviews suggest that the Star Spangled Tori is the third one. So this is where like Tori sings for everyone, and Kat, she gets put in an attic and she can't find a place to stay. And then I think he suggests that I think what he says the fourth one is where it's where Robbie and Kat kind of get together at the end, and it's where like Tori sings "Here's to Us," and it's where like Tori gets a job. And the last episode he suggests is probably the slap fight. I mean, I kind of get it why it's in that order, but I don't agree with this order. I think I have my own version of how the last three episodes should be ordered. I personally think the slap fight episode should be the third one. For one thing, it's a gimmick episode similar to the Victorious. So that's one thing. And I guess this concludes Sinjin in his final arc, is where he tells the gang how stupid they are, and I think that's a satisfying way to end the conclusion of taking down on the main group. However, I think for the fourth episode, it should have been Star Spangled Story, which is kind of is how he said it. But I think like the slap fight should be before Star Spangled Story. I think having it nearly toward the end, this is where like Tori gets to showcase her talent to the big people. And she gets to sing a national anthem to, I guess, like a Super Bowl or something. So I think for Tori's side of things, it's a good progression for her as she's getting bigger. And for the Kat side of things, it also kind of improves. Also, like, you have to consider, like, after Victorious, we have Sam and Kat, and we have to make that a good transition. And how it happens in the fourth episode, Kat is kind of like gets lost in an attic. I think she can't stay at her regular house because of her auntie and uncle. I think so. I think that's how I got the fourth episode started. And for the fifth episode, to me, I think it makes sense to end off where Robbie and Kat almost get engaged or something, or end up being together. And this is the episode. A lot of things happen where I think should be about an ending of a series. Like for example, the episode ends with a good finale song. Like Tori and Andre sing "Here's to Us," and I think that's a good way to finish us a season. And also, Tori gets punished in this episode because you think like she succeeded, like because she made it in platinum. She's everywhere now. You think that she's gonna make it big wherever. This isn't a regular job like anyone else would. Um, for the last episode, she works at this store selling these ball things. I think they're kind of food. I don't know. That's what she does, a regular mundane job. So in this episode, Tori is being punished. I think they all should, but it's kind of seeing what happens when like you thought you were going to this Hollywood art school and you thought you were making big, you thought you were different from everyone else, but no, you're being punished by being regular like us. And I think for the last season, you would. I think it's best to assume that Kat is already with her Nona. And I think, yeah, that's how satisfying the episode ends. And that's my ideal of how the finale of Victorious should have been. Okay, I guess this is my answer then for this question. So to reiterate again, the question was, if I had to change anything of a show that I've watched, what would it be? And I selected Victorious as that show that I would like to change. And the change is that I would like to rearrange the finale of Victorious. So I think this is how it would have been a better payoff. This way, like it doesn't feel like Victorious has been cancelled abruptly or ending in a confusing episode. Anyway, that's my answer done. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and have a lovely day.